Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, social media world? It's your boy Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Welcome to the page. Like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, I appreciate you. Thank you. And I mean that sincerely, because you could be doing anything with your time right now. There's millions of videos out there on YouTube. There's millions of shows you could be watching on Netflix or Stars or any cable or Hulu, any network. You could be doing anything. So when I say I appreciate you, I genuinely, organically, sincerely mean that. So hit that like and subscribe button. If my message doesn't apply to you, it could definitely apply to a family member, an associate, a coworker, or whomever. Because sometimes certain people just need to hear the right things at the right time. I sure know I do. I'm always seeking new information. I'm always seeking to grow and better myself because knowledge is everything. And implementing new knowledge is the only way I'm going to get from how I was to how I want to be or just to another level. I always tell people, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're completely happy in all areas of your life, then don't do nothing different. Keep doing what you've been doing. But there's always, social media world, nobody's perfect. There's always things you could be learning or unlearning because we have a lot of ways, a lot of habits that have been working for us because of survival mode, because of what our parents taught us, our peers taught us, or just we just learned from the educational system, from friends, family members, just life experiences. Some things work in our favor and some things hinder us. And until we start really becoming self-aware and becoming conscious of the unconscious things that we do or don't do, we're never really going to know where we're at in life, if that makes sense. So that's why I feel that I'm always going to promote self-awareness and conscious awareness. You have to be conscious of the unconscious things and thoughts and habits that you're doing on a daily basis. Because a lot of us are on autopilot. We think that we're thinking, but we're just going through our daily routines and habits and paradigms that we've been going through for the last couple of years, or whenever you got that information in the past and implemented it and applied it over and over repetitively, and it became a habit. So now if you want to do something different, if you keep thinking the way you're thinking, you're going to keep feeling the way you're feeling, and you're going to keep acting the way you're acting. So I always tell people, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If you love exactly the way your life is going, how you think, and how you feel, then keep doing what you've been doing. But social media world, nobody's perfect. There's always things you could be learning and unlearning because a lot of things are hindering us. We don't have all the information in the world. There's always things. Life is just like your phone or your devices are always, you see the updates coming in. Things are always updating. Things can always be improving. Human beings, I feel, and I got this quote from Bob Proctor. God bless his soul, rest in peace. If y'all don't know who that is, he's phenomenal. Google him. He's on YouTube all over the place. This guy he's the truth. He's a beast. But he always says human beings are supposed to be grateful, but never satisfied. And I always agreed to him when he said that, because when you think about it, if we were supposed to be satisfied, we would still be on horses. We would still have big TVs. We would still have huge phones, but we're constantly evolving. Our imagination, that's where everything starts in the mind. It's constantly evolving, just like technology, just like education, just like your value system. Everything is constantly evolving. So you should always be seeking new information to help you. Because you are with yourself until you leave this earth. So why wouldn't you want to better yourself and develop some type of self mastery? You should become conscious of your unconscious thoughts and habits that you're doing that either hindering you or could be making you much better. But in order to do that, we have to seek new information because you're only going right here in this present time in this moment. You are moving, you are thinking, and you are feeling certain ways and certain things off the information that you had up until this point right now. Up until this point. So right now you're here. Now, if you want to get here, you need to develop some new information. You need to seek new information, no matter what the area is. But I always advise seek self-awareness because you are with yourself. You need to master yourself. There's a lot of people who are not self-aware, social media world, and it's hindering you. I got a quick story, right? And I'm gonna keep it brief. How much time I'm in? I'm 6 minutes in. I'm gonna keep it real brief, right? So recently, I had to cut off one of my friends, or I guess you could say we basically cut each other off, but you know, he did some what I feel was sucker shit because I knew this dude, he's like a brother to me. He got the keys to my house, you know, he feeds my cats when I go away. You know, when he had cats, I feed his cats. We were there for each other in different areas in time. He's really, really like a brother to me. I just don't give my keys out to just anybody, right? And this is why I tell people to develop some type of self-awareness because your environment, your parents, your childhood, whatever you've been doing, your lack of information up until however old you are could either be working in some areas or hindering you in certain areas. But you wouldn't know until you start trying to become consciously aware, self aware. Why am I thinking this way? Why do I do the things I do? Let me be more empathetic. Let me treat others how I want to be treated. So, so basically, what was happening, and I'm not saying this person did this on purpose. So social media, you tell me if I was wrong or if I was right or however you feel. Leave some comments, leave some feedback. Come on, interact with me. I'm a human being. I'm making it like, I want to know what's going on in your brains. I want to hear your thoughts. I can't be doing something better or stop doing something if you guys are not giving me no feedback. So I'm taking, if I don't get no feedback, that it's either maybe I am doing it right or maybe people's too shy to leave feedbacks. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So back to the story, right? So for the last couple days, this is weeks now, but I'm just gonna go past. I'm gonna talk about the past as present. So for the last, I just be fumbling. So the past couple days, right? He would text me. So a snowplow hit my car. Martin Luther King weekend. It hit my car. Um, the people with the ring cams, nobody want to show me tapes. Nobody want to answer the door. So I got to take a L on it, which is a loss. I got to take a loss because I have no proof it was a snowplow. The reason why I know it was a snowplow is because the hole in the tire is up here and whatever hit me moved my car a couple feet and the control arm fell on the ground, right? Long story short, that's what happened. So right now I'm car shopping, been out of a car since Martin Luther King weekend. We're now in April. So he has been texting me. He'll start the conversation. He'll start the text, and say whatever. And then when I respond, I'm getting no feedback. So the first couple times, I'm not really taking it personal. I'm not really paying no attention to it because I know people get tied up. I know people get busy. But after 4 or 5 times, it gets kind of, like I said, I pay attention. I might not bring it to people's attention right then and there because I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But whether you're doing something intentionally or unintentionally, shit gets annoying after a while. You get what I'm saying? And I'm a vocal person, especially if you're my brother or if you're a close friend or somebody I have love for. I'm going to tell you about something you're doing that's bothering me so we could be on the same plane because you might not know it's that serious. You're not going to know unless I tell you about it. This is why we need to speak to each other. Don't hold things in. Don't do tit for tat. If you got genuine love for this person, speak to them and voice your opinion. Let them know what's going on in a respectful way. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be friends with this person because you should you should be at a certain age and a mentality that you have to teach people how to treat you because they're not mind readers. Like I said, whether you're doing something unintentionally or unintentionally, it's having an effect on you. And if you're not self aware to know that it's having an effect on you, you're going to start moving with them a certain way. And then the whole relationship is going to get out of whack when you could have just been stopped by you just addressing the issue the moment it started happening. Right? So back to the story. So after like 4 or 5 times, he asked me, hey, what's going on with the car situation? You found anything about the car? Mind you, he sent me a couple of weeks ago. Before that, he has sent me like links to cars and stuff like that. So I guess that's why he was, acquiring and asking, like, did I follow up on it? So I sent them, I'm not a texter, social media world. I text basic things. Where are you? How are you? Little things like that. But if it's a conversation, I'm going to voice note it because number one, I feel like when you can hear my voice and demeanor, you can understand my temperament and the temperature of the reaction. And number two, I'm very detailed and I'm a slow texter. So I'll be there forever. And I'm still working on patience. I don't have patience to be texting, right? So he texts, how's the car thing going on? So I sent him a voice note, a good lengthy voice note about a minute and a half, whatever the case it be, saying what was going on. And once again, I got no feedback. Now, again, all these times, all these 4, 5, 6 times, like I said, he started the conversation through text. I'm minding my business. You go out your way to text me, hey, Sin, blah, 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 blah. I respond, no feedback. So now it's annoying now, especially after, this last one, when I go in with a nice little 1 minute and a half, whatever detail, response and I get no feedback. So I wait 24 hours, not even 24 hours. Let's say he texted me this at like 3 o'clock PM. Once 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I voice noted him, speaking my mind respectfully. Oh, how I thought I was, excuse me, social media world. Excuse me. Don't make me burping in the air. Let me take a sip of this little red wine. Had a long day. Some evenings I like to end my evening with a glass of red wine, But yeah, so the next morning, like say 8, 9 o'clock, how much time we got in? 13, 14 minutes? Okay. So the next morning, I sent him a voice note saying, yo, came off regular. He's Jamaican. So I call him Badman. So I start off Badman, Wagwan. So, and I start going in because I know some people, and I know him, and he's not self-aware to an extent. He might be self-aware in certain areas. He's an electrician also. So he's self-aware when it comes to electrical, but just emotional intelligence and empathy, he don't really have it too much. And I'm saying that because I know him. Now, you might ask him that, he probably begs to differ. But if you ask a lot of people who don't have emotional intelligence, especially when you're not working on yourself, you're not consciously aware or self-aware, the ego and pride is going to bring you into defense mode. And that's what the majority of the world do. And this is why I stress work on yourself, social media world. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm cutting off so much people because when you start working on yourself, the deeper you get into self-awareness and consciously awareness, your friends, if they're not doing the same, you're going to fall back from them. Why? Because you're going to start seeing things and you're going to know your standards are going to become more like this. And like I said, if you can't tell somebody because you got love for them, listen, just because you're not self aware, that's not my fault. Sorry, I think I hit the mic. That's not my fault that you're not self aware. So now I'm going to dress it up, put it in ribbons and bow ties just to not hurt your little petty little pride and ego. I'm going to say, and I'm only doing that for people I have genuine love for. If you're a regular person, I'm gonna do a regular, and if you take it a certain way, then there's no sweat off my back. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But it's very difficult to talk to people and express yourself when it's when it's an uncomfortable conversation because they're not self-aware. They can't see what they did or what they're doing, and especially if they didn't do it intentionally. So some people think, well, I didn't do it intentionally. I get it. I understand that. But this is why I'm bringing it to your attention, because if I don't, you're going to keep doing it unintentionally. And guess who's being affected? I am. So just so everybody's here, I have to talk about it and speak about it. And if you're my brother, if you're my friend, you're going to say, oh, my bad, Sin. My bad, J Red. I didn't know that when I was doing this or not doing this, this was affecting you. So I'm going to be more aware because I know I don't mean it intentionally. I know I'm not doing it to hurt your feelings. So let me be more self-aware so it don't affect you. Bang. Now, even if it happens again, the fact that you take accountability, I'm sure you're going to take accountability if it happens again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to take it as personal more because when I first addressed it, I'm not expecting you. It's a habit. Of course, especially if somebody's not self-aware and doing the work, that habit is going to be very, very hard to break. Even if you are doing the work on a consistent basis, it's still going to take time and a lot of repetition to we're going to slip up. There's a lot of things I do still. I'm not perfect. As much as I talk about the self awareness, conscious awareness, I still do things and mess up or F up, but I take accountability. I don't stay in that zone and let my pride and ego get the best of me. But anyway, back to the story. So I leave a voice note to him. So I voice note, yo, bad man, wagwan. So I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, don't take this personally. I'm not saying that you do this intentionally or unintentionally, but, and I go off to say, like the last couple of times it's getting really annoying, and I'm not saying you did it intentionally or unintentionally, and I probably did say a little spicy things because I know, let's face it, for men, because he's a man, if it was a female, right? If it was a female that he was texting and the female responded back, especially a female of interest that he was into, he would have responded back all those times, right? No matter how absent-minded or self-aware, or excuse me, how unself-aware you are, you would have responded back, right? So I kind of said that, but I did say kind of vulgar. Maybe he took that a certain way. I did say, well, I'm sure if I had a pussy, you probably would have responded back to me, promptly or at all, right? So that probably could be the only thing I could see that he might have taken a certain way. But like I said, I didn't mean in a certain way, maybe because I said that word, or whatever the case may be. But remind you, social media, I am annoyed. I am a man. So I'm not going to dress it up like, hey, just let you know. No, it didn't sound like that. So yeah, I started off the conversation just so you can feel the right temperament. And then as I got into more talking about it, you might hear a little more of an annoyance in my voice through the voice note because of how I was feeling and because I'm expressing myself with passion. But I wasn't loud. I wasn't cursing at him. I wasn't degrading him. So I was basically, that's to me, that's the only part I really said that was, you know, I don't even think that was out of line. I was just stating a fact because I know this individual and I know most people. People do what they want to do, what's important to them, they get to it. If it was a side gig, if it was somebody calling for an electrician and left a voice note or responded, he would have got back. So that's why I said that, right? To prove a point. So, like I said, I told him, I know you're not doing this intentionally or unintentionally, but it's still affecting me. Blah 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 blah. And that's how I left it, right? So he responded back like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna have to elaborate." But like I said, with him, he's not self-aware, and his tone and his voice. I'm a tone and a voice person. His tone and voice was telling me because he left a voice note this time. He didn't respond back to text messages. His tone and voice was telling me that if I would have continued, and this is because I have emotional intelligence, so I know when to pursue something and when to fall back because I'm no Dalai Lama. If I would have responded back, it would have got nasty, and then I would have said something that I probably, wouldn't be able to take back. So he was basically like, you're gonna have to elaborate. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what will make you send me that message. And he just basically was not empathetic to my message that I sent to him. But he had a certain tone and his demeanor. This is why I love voice notes because you can hear it. See, it's different if I'm reading somebody's text, I would be assuming. But now I'm not assuming because I'm hearing his voice and I know this dude I know him as an individual. I know him for a very long time. So after he said what he said, and I realized, his pride and ego got in the way, and he realized he basically said, I asked you a question, you responded. I didn't feel like there was no need for further response to engage in more conversation. Now, whether that's true or not, to me, and this is just, everybody's different. I would have still responded, like I said, let me rewind back. He asked me, how's the car situation going? I left him a minute and change voice note about what he just asked me. Now, me personally, after I said that, or let's the roles reverse. If he would have said that, I would have said, "Oh, okay, no doubt." I would have said something, not just a blank, no voice note, no text. And remind you, like I said, this is the fourth or fifth time in a matter of a week, week and a half that he's been doing this. He'll start the conversation, I'll respond, and I get no feedback. So when you add that to this, it's just like, okay, we have to address this because this is getting annoying now. Stop. Like, I don't get it. Why you interacting with me on your own accord? You're coming out your way to how much time I'm in? Damn, 23 minutes. You're coming out your way on your own accord to ask me a question. Now, when I respond, I'm getting no feedback. Like that's just stupid to me. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something's wrong with me, but like I said, I like to treat people how I want to be treated. And if somebody was going out, if I was going out the way to ask you something and you responded, even if I had nothing to say, I'm gonna at least say, oh, okay, I got you. I'm gonna say something. I'm not just gonna leave it a blank and just not respond at all. That's just me. So anyway, so after his response, I said, oh, okay, no problem, no doubt, no worry about it, because I didn't feel more to elaborate on it because I could see that I would have got into a big argument because he's already in his pride, in his feelings, in his ego, off of his voice note, his demeanor, and him saying, I didn't feel like there was no need to respond. I asked you a question, you responded, that's that. So I left it alone because I know me. I gotta be the bigger person. If I would have responded, it would have came off with an attitude, a certain demeanor, and he would have came off with a bigger attitude, a certain demeanor, and it would have just got ugly. So I just been the bigger person and just said, no problem, I got you. Say no more, and that was that. Now, when that happened, My birthday was maybe like a week after that. I didn't get a text for my birthday. And then I had, I don't know if I told y'all in a prior video, I had heart surgery. Nothing crazy. I was out the same day. It was a minor heart surgery, AFib, atrial flutter, but it's not the video for that. I didn't get nothing about, how you feeling, how you doing. And then when my other boy, a mutual friend of ours, who is just as close with both of us, came to pick me up from the hospital at NYU, when he dropped me home, he was like, "Oh, such and such gave me a house keys." So when he gave me the house keys, mind you, I just coming home from surgery. I was pissed. I was livid. I was tight. Very, very, very tight, social media world. Why was I tight? Because like I said, this person is a brother to me. This person means or meant a lot to me. And now because I voiced my opinion on what you was doing unintentionally, now you're not talking to me. You're giving me back my keys. Yo, you can't make this stupid stuff up, social media world. But I love it. I love it because it shows me where you at. It shows me who's really there for you. It's not always about how long you knew somebody, because you could meet somebody a month ago and they could make you feel or treat you better than somebody you knew for 20 plus years. So originally, I was pissed. I was tight. I wanted to call him. I wanted to go ham. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like that was some real sucker shit. I thought that was some real emotional female shit. Like, who does that? You give me my house keys because what? You was doing something unintentionally that affected me. I voiced my opinion, so it won't keep happening because I know you're doing it unintentionally, and then you stop talking to me and give me my house keys back and not call me on my birthday. If you're watching this video, I'm just letting you know I love you from a distance, but you a sucker. And I'm glad you did that, because I don't need that. I don't need those type of people in my life. And this is why you need to work on yourself. And I'm speaking to social media world now. This is why you need to work on yourself and be self-aware and pay attention, so you know who's there for you and who has your back. Because there's no way in the world that should ever slide, that if that's your brother, that's your friend, family member, whomever, that you voice your opinion about them doing something unintentionally that's affecting you, you talk about it, and they have a big of an attitude than you, and you are the one being affected. Like, you can't make this stupid shit up. So, sorry for keeping this video almost 30 minutes, but give me your feedback. Let me know how y'all feel. Keep growing. If you don't like reading, listen to audibles, but learn and try to master yourself. And this is a lifetime journey, social media world. So you're not going to get it in a day. You're not going to get it in 5 years. You might not get it in 10 years. Education doesn't stop once you get out the school system and you graduate college, your master's, bachelor's. I don't care what you got. You need to learn and self-analyze you. Because what you're thinking creates how you're feeling, and how you're feeling is going to be how you acting. So let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what y'all think. Keep it 100. I always keep it 100. Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Stay sucker free and stay real. Peace.